So what is the new BMW R1300 RT like on a long ride? Well, today I'm to find out just that. Hey kids, it's Mr. Fly here, hope you're well. Welcome back to the channel, and something a little bit different from my normal ride reviews, because today I'm on, for the first time, the brand new for 2025 BMW R1300 RT. It's not just any old RT, this one, it's the top spec one. It's the ASA one, which is the automated shift assistant, so it's the automatic gearbox job. It's the LE, so it's got all the bits and pieces, and it's also got all the options 719 stuff, travel pack and all that, so it's had everything thrown at it. It's a press bike that I'm obviously borrowing, and because it is a big touring bike, I thought what I should do is take it actually on a decent run today. It's a lovely day, as you can see. The weather forecast is set fair, and I've decided to go and see a pal of mine who lives on the south coast. It's about 160 mile round trip, something like that. So I'm going to do a good few hours on the bike today. Hello sir. Just to see what this is like if you were to spend the day touring on it. So it's a pretty good test in that respect. If you want to see my full sort of usual motorcycle test on the bike, well, stick around and stay tuned to the channel. That'll be coming soon, where I go through the specs and all the usual stuff, but this is just about what's it like on a long run, and this is my first ride ever on the bike, so I'm going to be kind of learning as I go along as well. It's a bit of a mixed day's riding. There's some smaller roads, but there's a lot of motorway as well, and as this bike is ideally suited to motorway, it should be a great test of it. So just while we're settling in, let me just sort of show you around the bike a little bit. So I'll cover all this off when I do the proper ride review video. But what I've got set up here, I've connected it up to my phone. We've got this massive TFT, so I've got the integrated sort of sat nav going. The phone is in my pocket, so I've got turn-by-turn navigation, and that looks excellent on the side of the big TFT. I've got this massive windscreen that I've got in its uppermost position. It's electric on here, so I can move it down like that. But then you can hear probably through the mic there's quite a lot of extra wind with the screen down, so I keep that in the up position just for comfort. And then the other thing I've done to settle into this longer ride is I put these flaps at the side, these manual flaps. I've put them up to try and just protect my legs a little bit from some of the wind, and they do have a bit of an effect. I can't help thinking they're a bit of a gimmick, but they do keep some wind off your legs. Now if it gets really hot later, I might decide that I'll put that lot all down and get myself a bit of ventilation, but so far this is the setup. Alright, so I'm going to settle into the bike then. As I say, I've got what we've got, according to the sat nav, 76 miles to go on this ride. Let's see how she does. Speak to you in a mo. Now, as I say, this is actually the first time I've ridden the new RT. I've ridden older RTs plenty of times, and I am a fan. Well, I'm a fan of BMWs generally, but the RT I've always loved. I've never actually owned one because I've always felt the GS, weirdly, was a little bit more comfortable. It's a bit taller. Well, I'm not sure if it is taller, but certainly your legs are in a more stretched position on the GS, and that for me has made the ride a little bit more comfortable. And this RT, I have to say, is the same in that respect. Your legs do feel a little bit more tucked up than they do on, say, a GS, but it is undoubtedly a comfortable place to be. The seat is beautifully wide and lovely and padded. The handlebars are a little bit narrower than I expected. Although, I mean, they're not narrow, it's just compared to, inevitably I'm also comparing this, I used to own a Goldwing, so I'm comparing this a bit to what the Goldwing was like, that being a full dress Tourer 2. The handlebars are a little bit further forward, a little bit more of a stretch than on the Goldwing, where I felt like my hands were more nearer my legs, but this is a really nice place to be. What I can say is this is just an effortless ride. This new 1300 engine is so grunty, so powerful and performant. It's just riding this is an absolute pleasure. Although it's a big old heavy bike, and you do feel the weight, you know, on the corners and when you're moving it around on your driveway. As ever, once you're moving, that all disappears, and it's really quite an agile machine. You can really chuck it about. I mean, the handling on it is beautiful. Now, this bike has got absolutely loads of features, and as ever, in classic bloke style, I've not read any manuals, So I'm just going to be working this out as I go along, and because it's literally my first ride on this bike, and the bike literally turned up an hour ago off the back of the BMW van, slightly sooner than I anticipated. I haven't done my research. I don't have the specs at hand. You'll have to wait for my normal ride review for the specs and so on, but so this ride is going to be all about how it makes me feel and how easy it is to use and all that kind of stuff, but it is a real world thing. I've set the bike up so that the electric screen is on the hamburger button. That was a new feature for these 1300 bikes from BMW. There's so many features on them now, they couldn't fit enough buttons on the handlebars, so you've got this little burger button that you can program to do what you like. So I've got this set up, as I say, as the screen, because I anticipate I'm going to be putting that up and down quite a bit today. In fact, I'll put it up now to stop the wind noise. So it works really nicely. And then another thing that's a first for me today is riding a BMW with that ASA, the automated shift assistant, I think is what it stands for, the automatic gearbox. You can ride it manually if you want. You've got this sort of drive and manual button. I've got it on fully automatic at the moment because I just want a relaxed ride down to see my mate. But if you put it in manual, you can actually change gear using the foot gear lever, which isn't connected to the engine in any mechanical way. It's literally just a switch, but it makes it feel a bit more like a conventional motorcycle if you want to ride with a foot gear lever. So I quite like that. I've heard mixed reports about ASA on BMWs before, so I didn't actually have high expectations that it was going to be that good, but I have to say so far it's been very smooth. Boxer engines are kind of renowned, aren't they, for being a bit clunky on the gear shifts. Well, not this one so far. It seems absolutely lovely. I can barely, well, I can tell when it's changing gear, but it's very smooth. It's certainly smoother than you do yourself. So at the moment it's a thumbs up for the ASA. It's going to be interesting to see after an hour or so on the bike whether I'm still feeling super comfortable. At this point though, 20 minutes in, yeah, I'm loving this thing. Right, I'll catch up with you when I'm on a different type of road. Unfortunately, I'm going to hit the M25 and some horrible roads. So it's going to be interesting to see what that's like. I'm expecting it to be busy. It's a Friday. It's holiday time. It's going to be interesting to see what it's like in traffic on the M25. So yeah, I'll speak to you when we get there. Okay, so I'm not quite yet on the M25, but I'll just turn the cameras back on again because I'm on the M40 now, so motorway, cruising along, look, at classic motorway speeds. And just a few things that I forgot this bike's got that make it so easy for this sort of riding. It's got the adaptive cruise control, so I've got that engaged at the moment. It's picking up the car in front, and as the cars in front slow and speed up, I'm doing the same without having to touch the throttle. Look. It's absolutely superb, I love that. And coupled with the radar cruise control, of course, you've got blind spot monitoring, so check out that mirror, look, car in my blind spot now, on comes a little triangle as he passes. I just think that's a fantastic safety feature. And there we go, he's passed up and it's gone off again. Another one about to come past in a minute. Absolutely love that. That is a feature that I really do like about this bike. You can get it on other BMWs, of course, and other makes of bikes, but if you're going to be doing this sort of riding, then I think that's great. Very, very relaxed with the adaptive cruise controls. I really like that. Alrighty, it's the first time I've ever got, by the way, an integrated sat-nav to work on a bike, so this is an absolute treat. Just complete stress-free riding. I'm loving it so far. Right, M25 next. I may not love that so much. Okay, joy of joys, I'm on the M25 and it's as expected. I personally find the M25 to be the least good road in the whole of Britain. Thank you, Mr. BMW, for pulling in front of me. It's always busy. What is it? It's about 10:30 on a Friday morning coming around here. And this is the sort of western section up towards Heathrow Airport. It's always busy up here. But actually it is at least moving. I've known it a lot worse. But in terms of being sat on a motorway like this in traffic, well, can I think of a better bike to be doing it on? But you know what? I don't think I can. This is a comfortable, relaxed place to be. With things like that blind spot monitoring helping me out. You know, letting me know when there's vehicles to my left or right in my blind spot. Great view over the screen here. I've got the screen down low now, so I'll get maximum ventilation. I've put these little side flaps away, so I'm getting a bit of draft up my legs to keep me cool, because it is a hot day. 27 degrees out there at the moment. But you know, even on this sort of tedious ride, and let's face it, no one does this sort of motorcycle riding for fun, do they? Even in this heavy rubbish traffic, joy to be on the RT. Let's do a bit of weaving. Now I have got massive panniers on here. In fact, I'll just stay here I think, as this is moving better. So you've got to be mindful of the width of the bike. But one up, it feels very agile. And if this was stationary traffic, filtering, not an issue. This bike, as I mentioned, is the fully spec'd up bike. Got everything thrown at it, including things like the radio integration. I don't ever listen to music on motorcycles. I know lots of people do. And when I used to have my old Goldwing, which also had a radio and stuff on it, I never used that, but obviously I tried it out. You had to have it fairly loud to be able to hear it when you're riding along. I imagine this is the same. Things like radio reception was poor because of the sort of physics involved in receiving radio while you're on the move on a motorcycle. I personally wouldn't pay the extra to have the radio installed on here, but the problem, because I don't use it, but the problem with that is if you don't, then these big speakers at the front here are just big plastic blanking off plates that don't look very good. So you know, I'm certainly not going to pay the extra for the radio that I don't use, but then you're going to be looking at the big plastic blanking plates, which are a shame. Otherwise, I really like this sort of cockpit that you're looking at. I like these bars. It's all nicely made, nicely finished. It's yeah, nice place to be. Right, well, I want to take a leaf out of his book, do a bit of filtering. Filtering, piece of cake on the big bike. So for the last few miles I've been fiddling with these side vent things to try and work out whether these are actually good or whether they're just a gimmick. I'm sort of coming to the conclusion they're a bit of a gimmick. I've not seen a bike with those on before. It's a new thing for the RT. I suppose it makes it stand out as a different feature. But yeah, don't buy it for those. Okay folks, you find me on the A3 now, heading towards Guildford. And I'm glad to say traffic's moving a bit quicker now. Still enjoying the ride, I have to say, but it's been a good chance now at these sort of higher speeds just to really see what this wind protection's like. The screen is generally pretty good. It's lovely and optically clear. It's not too bad looking through it like this. And there's no wind in front of my face here at all, but I can feel wind obviously as soon as I get to the sides. There's a bit of breeze on my arms and a bit on the very top of my head, and this is on the uppermost setting of the screen. It looks a massive screen. I thought it might be a little bit better than it is. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but again, I'm used to riding behind the big barn door screen on the Honda Goldwing, and that in its fully up position, I was completely calm. There was no wind hitting the top of my head or my shoulders or anything. This does seem to have a little bit of leakage around the side, so it's not quite as good the screen as I thought it was going to be, although it still does obviously a good job because it's absolutely massive. Look at it. And I do love the fact that it's electronically controlled. There's just some novelty about that, isn't there? Ah, as soon as I said that, look, a splat right in the middle appears. Bother. A bit more filtrage as we head our way through Guildford Way. The old roads to the southeast never cease to disappoint, do they, in terms of traffic? This boxer engine bike, of course, has its weight nice and low though, so it's nice and easily balanced, so piece of cake to nip through traffic like this. Okay folks, so I've got about another 25 miles to run. I've been on the bike for about an hour and a half, so sort of representative, if you like, of a typical leg for if you're on tour. I accept this may be the most boring video you've ever seen in terms of scenery and riding, because it's all been major roads, fast roads, that sort of thing, but I thought it was important to make a video like this because, let's face it, bikes like this, big old touring bikes, are often used to do big schleps, you know, to get to where you're going on your tour or whatever, and these are typically the sorts of roads that you ride these on, so I thought it was a good idea to have a good old ride on here and check out what the bike's like on that. And I have to say, it's performed flawlessly. The electronics on this bike are very sophisticated, and for touring like this, absolutely superb. I mean, at the moment, for example, I get told off for waving my hands about when I'm doing reviews, but I've got the cruise control, which is adaptive on at the moment. I'm resting my shoulder, which I haven't mentioned on this video. I don't think I've got a dodgy shoulder, so it's beautiful for resting my shoulder. This big screen, despite it not being quite as good as others I've used, it's you know, I am sat in a pretty calm place. It's a relaxed riding experience. The bike is powerful, it looks pretty nice. I think it's got all the electronics. It's the first time I've ever got a sat nav to work integrated on a bike. That's been fantastic. Yeah, really nice place to be. Not everything about the bike is perfect though, so I've got a few things in mind that I don't like about the bike, but you'll have to wait for my review video of the bike, which will be coming up in a few days on the channel, for me to tell you about that. I want to do some riding, some more mixed riding, some smaller roads, that sort of thing. I want to take the missus on the back, maybe ride it at night, that sort of thing, and properly get to know the bike before I do my final review video. So if you're interested in the BMW R1300RT, stick around and stay tuned to the channel. There'll be much more detailed reviews coming up soon. But yeah, that's it for now. Really enjoyed this first ride. It's as expected, it's brilliant on these longer term rides. Alright, look forward to speaking to you again soon. Until then, this has been the Mr. and Flyer. Cheerio. Who doesn't like a bit of tunnel action? You don't often get tunnel action in the UK, do you? Well, come down this way, you get the Hindhead tunnel. A proper tunnel. See? We do have them.